Hello, I'm Michael, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a flash diffuser for an external flash out of nothing but paper and a rubber band. Now you can do this two ways. You can make it to where it's a completely folded version where there's no cuts besides the size of the paper itself around the edges, or you can make it to where it's a cut version and it fits together. I would suggest using the cut version, but if you don't want to do the cuts, this version works as well. And I made these tonight. The reason I'm making another one is these are made out of construction paper, and I'm not sure how they're going to actually diffuse light. I've never used construction paper for that, so I have used cardstock, and that's what I'm going to use. So I am going to turn the camera down to my work area and show you how I do it. Okay, so this is my work area. As you can see, my desk has slats in it, or slots in it. So I've taken a piece of cardboard to put up under my paper. And what you'll need, a flat surface piece. I like cardstock, but any piece of paper you want to use, whatever you like. Your flash, a pencil, rubber band, and a pair of scissors. That's all you need. You can use a ruler or a protractor as well, which is why I have them here. But I already know for this flash that the size that I want is 5.5 inches by 4.5 inches. If you have, it's the Precision Design DSLR 300 flash. That's the size you want, 5.5 by 4.5. Okay, so how you start this off is you go to your edge, and I'm not sure how this is actually looking. I'm trying to focus it a little bit myself, but I've never shot like this before, so let me get this focused a little better. Alright, I think that's about right. Okay, so this is how you do it. And this might be upside down looking to you. I'm sorry if it is, but I'll see if I can fix it. You want to go to, this has a what they call a hood on it that pulls in and out. And what you want to do is take to the edge of that hood, or if it doesn't have one, probably to about the edge of where it'll bend, which I wouldn't go further than this ridge right here. All you really need is about 1.5 inches maybe, if that, to do this. But what you want to do is come over here, lay it down like this, your flash on the side, and take a pencil, not a pen, and just mark where it's going to be. Okay, so it's easier to actually lay it down flat, but I'll show you why I was doing that in a minute. Alright, so I've got my first mark, and my next mark, I'm going to take it and I'm actually going to lay it down like this. And I'm making sure I get the edge, exactly the edge that I want. Alright, so it was about right here. So now I'm going to take this again and just mark off about where I was at. Okay, And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back, and I'm going to find exactly the edge that I want. Since I have a ruler here, I'm just going to use this to mark it right quick. Now, according to the ones I've made already, this should be 5.5 inches, and it is not. So I'm not sure if I've done it wrong or what, but I'll show how to fix it in a minute if it's not right. You just come back, yes, no. So I was wrong. This is actually my edge, and then my other edge should be here. So just once you get it measured out, double check it, make sure it is right. You can erase your marks later, but should be there instead of here. I would, after you get this done, highly suggest taking an art eraser of some sort, a plastic eraser or something, and erasing your lines. So what you want to know now is you want to find, basically this is going to be going up like this, so you want to find your angle at where this is going, and I'm going to say it's about like that. Make sure that I've got this aligned. Alright, now what you want to do is set it up so that the part of your flash that sticks out the most is on that line that you just drew, and you want to kind of just trace around the whole part, the whole front of the flash lightly, so that you have at least a little mark of where it's going to go. Alright, so now you can measure out, make sure you're at the right spot by laying this on its side, and so let's see. So it looks about even. Now, once you've got that there, again, take this, lay it down to where the furthest side out is the part touching the rim, and just mark off where it's at. And so now I have, basically I've got a line here, and I can take this line and extend it straight up however far I need to. And then I've got these two lines here, and I can lay this down and extend it out. Now again, I know the size that this needs to be, so I'm going to go on and measure it and make sure it's right. But let's see here. It's 5.5 by 4.5. Alright, so you're done with your pencil unless you want to start erasing. It doesn't matter. You can erase. You don't have to. It's not really going to matter much. Go on and on the outside of your rectangle, just cut it out. Try to keep it as square as possible at this point. Alright, so you can get rid of the paper. And this is your template. I'm going to erase some of these marks because I don't want them there. I don't like them there, so, but I am going to go on and put a small mark about where it was at on either side. That'll let me know a few things a little bit later that I want to know. You can just kind of estimate where things are at. Okay, so this one is off, but there. So as you can kind of tell, I made a little grid, and I can tell right away that something looks off. I don't know if you can see it, but this side looks a lot shorter than this side. So I'm going to come back here and measure again, and it's definitely off. So let me measure this. And now I've got my center mark. So my center mark should actually be about here on either one of them. So now what I'm going to do is, before I cut anything at all, I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold one side up, make sure that it's the right place. And alright, you want to fold the sides that are going on the left and right first. Don't fold the top, bottom, front, and back, whatever you want to call it, depending on how you've got it set up. I'm going to go on and I'm going to match it up like this and then fold it, because it seems like the cardstock is a little bit harder to fold than the other was. So that looks right, so I'm going to press in on it, kind of form it. Alright, so I got my forms of it up now. Now I have to do the same thing to the other sides. And these should be exactly the same way. They should fit perfectly. So once I get it about where I think it should be, I'm going to go on and squeeze it to make those creases. And so now you can tell I've got a bend on either side, going both ways. Alright, still, before you cut it, go on and bend up, put it back the way you had it to where it's wide. Bend up the two sides, and then while holding those, go on and actually bend up the front and back, or top, bottom first. And then once you get that bent up again, you go back and you bend up the sides like so. So the reason you want to do this is to make sure it's going to fit. So it is definitely fitting. So far it looks like it. Alright, so I can tell that it looks like it's going to fit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go on and make a square cut, and you'll go back in a little bit and fix this, but I'm going to use those guides I made, and I'm just going to cut straight up. And I'm doing this, I have my paper in, I guess, portrait orientation or vertical orientation. So the long sides are on the right and left while I'm cutting this. And I'm just cutting from the bottom up, and then I'm going to do it on both sides. Alright, now I'm going to put this back down. And I'm going to test it, I'm going to pull up these sides first. Alright, so I'm going to take this off since I don't need it anymore, but I've got that, and they look right to me. If you accidentally cut a little bit too far, it's okay, because it's not going to matter much. You might have a little bit of light escape, but it's, if you don't like it, just cut you another piece of paper. I did cut this one a centimeter or so too much, but that is the right place. Okay though, as I cut those about straight, not exactly, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to cut about a 60-degree angle. I'm just going to do it by hand, but you want to cut the 4 sides going from the inside up to the point there. Okay. And you may want to, well, you will have to test it and make sure that it works, but it's going to be a pretty good fit, I think, the way I've done it. But you definitely have to test it, make sure it works. But once you get it up, what you want to do, go on and fold up the sides. You want to fold in the 2 sides like that, and that one over, and just see how it looks. If it looks like it'll fold right and it's got room to move, like actually move in and get tighter, then that's right. It's not right if it's perfectly straight and you can't move them any further in. So again, I'm going to find my area that I was working on, and first thing I'm going to do is these 4 pieces, the corners, I'm going to cut off about a 1/2 inch. Do a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch, and you'll see why in a minute. But so it's going to look like that now, to where you've got the 2 longer sides and then the 2 shorter sides. And I may have cut this one a little bit too much, but it should still work. Go on and slide your stuff down in there. Just set it on top of it. And you need to look at your flash. If it's like this, then this will be your top, bottom. Okay, top, bottom, and then your sides. So you need to decide which way you want your top and bottom to be. That's what matters. So I want my top, I think I want it to be here and my bottom to be here. So I'm going to set this kind of down here, and I'm going to go on and fold this up. So what you want to do is, when you've decided what you want to be your top and your bottom, you fold the bottom up first, fold those in, then fold your top. Okay, like that, and then you're just going to fold up your sides, and there you take it and adjust it to where it's tight, and you pull it down, and that looks pretty good. You just take your two fingers, hold it together, and as you can probably see, it's got a bow here. Well, all you do, you take your rubber band, keep it flat all the way around, take your rubber band, put it on there, and start pressing in the sides. And there you go. And as you can see, this one was harder for me to get to work right, so I made this side a little bit longer on this edge, and then this one a little bit longer. You can go back and cut those out. You can go back and fix up the difference on the sides if you want. I'll probably do that myself, cut this edge off to where it'll be flat and make it look a little better. I honestly think that I need to flip this around though. It looks better the other way. So you want the part that, basically the part that your customer will be seeing if you're doing this for photo shoots, then you want the part your customer will see the most to look as even and flat as possible. So again, you just get that rubber band around it to where it's smooth and straight, and now that looks a lot better to me. This one I know will be a very good diffuser, whereas the construction paper I'm not sure of. The next thing I'm going to show you though, right quick, before I cut this off, as I said, this is my bouncer for my built-in flash. This is my diffuser for my built-in flash. It's just a cup, a bathroom cup that I use them to rinse my mouth out when I brush my teeth. And I just cut a little window in it at the top. At the top, the window is, let me pull out my template one. The window is not as wide at the top and wider at the bottom. And it fans out as it goes towards the bottom. Really, you should take it and leave about a quarter, I'd say probably a half an inch at the bottom and the top. This one I should have actually cut on up a little bit further, but you do that, and then you take a piece of paper and you'll want to cut it so that the top has basically a dip in it and the bottom has a dip. And so basically when you cut it, it's going to go to the contour of the cup inside, because you're going to wrap it on the inside, and you're going to put you some tape down in there. The easy way to do it is take you a pencil, put your tape on your pencil and smooth it around the edges or push it down like that, and then take your finger and put it in there and put it around. And for the bottom piece, you just put a piece of tape there. That's the first one you want to put on. Put you a piece of tape here and wrap it over. And that is all that you have to do to make a diffuser for your different types of flashes. Again, if you have this same flash, the Precision Design DSLR 300 cuts your paper to 5.5 by 4.5. Other flashes you will have to measure out the way I done this one. Thank you for watching, and I enjoyed making this.